the show where we will be having a conversation, very important one, with one of the agencies or boards in the FCT administration that is saddled with the responsibility of course, managing Hajj affairs, talking about the FCT Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board. Of course, the 2024 Hajj preparations has begun in earnest, and of course, the intending pilgrims, should be able to know exactly where the preparations are at the moment, and that's why we have with us seated this morning, of course, Al-Hajj Malam Doctor. I sometimes when people give me plain names, I look at their faces. I want to add
the title,
before address them. But we have the man at the helm of affairs of the board with respect to Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board in the FCT with us in the studio. Good morning and welcome, sir.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you as well. But for those of us who may not have heard about this board and maybe intending to someday join the pilgrimage, what would you say your mandate is?
Okay. Good morning once more. Now, the FCT Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board essentially has the core mandate of organizing, coordinating pilgrimages to the Holy Land on behalf of FCT inhabitants under the FCT administration. We have a mission and we have a vision. Our vision is to develop effective and efficient system by keying into technological innovations in order to compete favorably within the Hajj industry. Our mandates basically are categorized into two. We have the mandates on the offshore. We have the mandates with the onshore. Onshore simply means the activities we carry out in Nigeria, and the offshore activities are the one we carry out in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So essentially this is our duty: organize, coordinate, and then provide a smooth and hitch-free Hajj, both the lesser Hajj for the FCT inhabitants on behalf of the FCT administration. Thank you very much.
All right. Over the years, of course, FCT has been garnering awards in respect, especially from the National Hajj Commission and other interested NGOs in Hajj affairs, as with respect to the high standards of performance, especially with respect to the welfare and well-being of the pilgrims, right from when they are here in the camp through the journey to Saudi Arabia, and even how they discharge the onerous task of performing Hajj in Saudi Arabia. What has been the core activities or the core focus of your board in order to ensure this high level of standard? Because I know that very few states come close to FCT when it comes to the kind of welfare and well-being of intending pilgrims.
Yeah. Just as we have rightly mentioned, the FCT Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board over the years have raised the bar of Hajj administration in this country. And we have the records to show that, yes, with all sense of modesty, that we have achieved a lot over the years. Of course, we're working hard to make sure that we raise the bar higher. I want, before even let you understand why we get to this place, we should understand that the factors why we're able to get all these accolades over the years: one, the FCT administration has given us all the support we required, morally and financially, over the years. The two ministers of state we had before, and even the present one we had now, Barrister Yoson Weke, and the Minister of State, Dr. Maria Mahmoud, they have given us all the financial support we needed, and even the moral support we required to do that. Number two, the staff we have on the board, the management, we always try to make them understand that working with the pilgrims on the board is a double privilege. You gain financially, you also get spiritually. Even for not anything, for you to have the privilege to travel to the Holy Land at the expense of the government of Nigeria, that alone is a privilege. So you don't need anybody to ask to work harder, because this is somebody. The prayer point of some Nigerians and some Muslims has been to, how can I even make it to Hajj, even once in my lifetime? But here you are on a platter of gold, working in the Pilgrims Welfare Board. And every year, as the case may be, except if one reason or the other, especially you at the management level, every year you must travel, either for the pre-Hajj visit or even to conduct the Hajj. So that alone is a motivating factor. And that is why over the years, the FCT Muslim Pilgrim Board have been getting this accolade. Not only that, FCT is supposed to be the arrowhead of everything in this country. This is a place where it's a macrocosm Nigeria. It's a mini Nigeria where you have everybody, a melting point for every Nigeria. And that is why we have pilgrims all over the country. It's not only people from who reside in FCT that patronize the FCT Muslim Pilgrim Board. I have people from Niger State, from Naira State, from neighboring states. Sometimes when I'm from Niger State, for example, but when people want to say, I want to register with FCT, I say, why don't you register in my state?
Yeah.
So, no, I want to go with FCT because I know that if I go with your state, I know that I have the best of the services. So we knew that our service has been, over the years, one of the best in the country. And we pray by the special grace of God, we're going to raise the bar higher.
Okay. I know Joy have questions for you, but I just want us to quickly talk about the preparations for Hajj 2024. I know that the board has a timetable of activities.
Yeah.
What are the items in this timetable, and where are we at the moment?
Okay. Just as you have said, the 2024 Hajj kicked off when we had a meeting with the National Commission of Nigeria in September, in early September. There at that meeting, we were informed that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has allocated 95,000 slots to Nigeria. The Hajj Commission equally allocated a slot of 4,368 to the FCT. So when we came back home, of course,
let's take that again.
Yeah, 4,368 to the FCT.
Okay.
That is initial. In 2023, we had initial slot of 3,520. But this year, based on the number we had, especially based on our performance indices in last year, the Hajj Commission decided to increase the number. So this year, we have an initial allocation of 4,368. Okay. Of course, immediately we came back home. We have to go into the air to announce to intended pilgrims that yes, the Hajj of 2024 has begun. The Hajj Commission gave us a benchmark of initial deposit of 4,500,000, understanding the economic realities today and based on the exchange rate of Naira to the dollar. So we have gone out already making sensitization and creating awareness among the FCT pilgrims that yes, this year the Hajj is coming with it is coming with a timeline, and these timelines are very crucial, and we need to adhere to them very strictly and very religiously if we must keep to the time of 24. So part of that is that between now, September, when we begin the collection, up to 27th of December, the collection, documentation, and registration of pilgrims will have been closed.
Okay, so meaning that anyone that intends to patronize the FCT Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board for Hajj 2024 has between now and December 31st this year.
27th
of December to pay to complete payment or deposit.
Yeah, the deposit is 4.5 million.
Okay.
The National Commission has the prerogative of announcing the final Hajj fare.
Okay.
And once that has been done, we'll inform the pilgrims accordingly. Okay. But for now, anybody who wants to be a bona fide pilgrim traveling through FCT for 2024 must deposit the sum of 4.5 million naira between on or before 27th of December, or lose the risk of missing the Hajj.
So I know that FCT Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board has this record of if, like, I think, was it 2023, 2022, when people made deposit and then the final fare was announced, there was a reduction in what was paid, and people were asked to come and collect what was left, or I don't know what happened
that was it. That was in 2022.
Okay.
The Hajj Commission, as usual, announced that the deposit should be 2,500,000. But when the final Hajj fare was computed, the Hajj fare now came at 2,404,000 something about.
Okay.
So we were refunding the sum of 51,000 or so to each pilgrim. That was in 2022.
Okay.
But 2023, there was no refund because the final pilgrims made an initial deposit of 2.5 million naira, and the Hajj fare finally came at 2,919,000. So there was no any refund in 2023.
So were they made to make up the balance?
Yeah, after you made a deposit of 2.5 million naira, when the final Hajj fare was announced with additional amount of 419,000 naira, pilgrims were immediately asked to make what additional, so that they can complete the payment. So this year too, we are hoping and praying that now the initial deposit is 4,500,000. We hope that if all things work out well, it may be at 4.5 million naira, or it may be more than that. Even if it is less than that, as usual, we may refund the pilgrims, as usual. Yeah.
Okay, so okay, I mean, so sometimes during Hajj, it's characterized by several logistical problems, some of which is not, of course, the FCT pilgrimage board's fault. But what would you say is the reason why we have Nigerians sometimes stranded in not just in when they travel, but even back home? It's like the logistics were not properly arranged. So when they get there, accommodations are always a problem, and this is supposed to be a spiritual event where, you know, you shouldn't even have the encumbrances of those physical comforts be a problem. What do you say is the reason often?
The reason over the years why we have been having hiccups in Hajj, not only in FCT, but all over Nigeria, we have that characteristics or the habit of making late preparations and making late payments. This year, the Hajj is coming with a new dimension. It is coming with timelines. And the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has advocated that we must adhere strictly to these timelines. And I want to believe strongly that if we keep to these timelines, all these kind of hiccups and what have you, and these challenges which you itemize may not arise. For example, between now, by 27th of December, the issuance of what we call collection will have been closed. By February 27 of the same year, 2024, the e-track for collection of data for pilgrims will also be closed. By 1st of March, the issuance of visa will commence. And by April 29, the issuance of visa will be closed. So, in essence, the visa would be closed almost 40 to 45 days before Arafah. This is the first time in a very long time in recent history it has not happened. And if that happens, then these kind of challenges and stranding of pilgrims of whatever you can, all will be eliminated completely. Because one, pilgrims, before 40 days to Arafah, we will know the exact number of people who are traveling.
Right.
We can make adequate preparation in terms of accommodation, in terms of feeding, and in terms of transportation. But hitherto before now, we can make, remember like 2023, even when Arafah had begun, visa was still being issued. And if somebody is inside a visa, even a day or two before Arafat, it's a pilgrim. Because once you have a visa, the next thing you do is what? You jet out. I jet out to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So these challenges we had as a result of this kind of late preparation. So this year we may be getting it right. Since the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia said, no, we must not be doing business as usual. We must change. So if we have to change, these kind of challenges we learn. Number two, we should understand that Hajj is kind of it's a business that encompasses different organizations. You have the aviation industry, you have the diplomatic aspect, you have also the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So most of these three things I've mentioned, once you get one right, or you couldn't get the two right, there will always be a challenge. For example, if you are allocated an aircraft, for example, the aircraft has no capacity to airlift the pilgrims you have. What do you have? You have a problem with Saudi. For example, you have done a flight management of 400. 450, for example. And then you are presented with an aircraft that brings in an aircraft with a body capacity of 350. Automatically, 100 people already left with that. You already have a carryover 100 pilgrims already. So when you are doing the next flight, you already have a carryover. And not only that, number second issue is that we have pilgrims in the FCT who are the elites, per se. Somebody is enlisted in the first flight. He has manifested in the first flight. He will not come. And he has indicated from beginning that he wants to go the first flight. But the day you are leaving for the first flight, the guy didn't come. So before you know it, in the aircraft, which is supposed to carry about 350 pilgrims, you have empty seat of how many? 45 or 35, for example. Already you have a shortage. And then somebody who was supposed to travel in the second flight is already scheduled to start the second flight. But that person who didn't move in the first flight is now in the camp. And he will now be complaining that he couldn't travel. He will not tell anybody that cared to listen, that he deliberately missed the first flight. But the complaint he made to anybody that cared to listen is that he was never moved out of the camp. But he never came out, and he never showed up. And there was no reason. He didn't give anybody, either the air officer, why he is not going to turn up. This is the characteristics of the pilgrims. We have the so-called VIP pilgrims from FCT, and this is the challenge we have.
So what does the board do when situations like this come up?
When situations come like this, especially we have our education and rotation program.
Yeah.
We used to give them enlightenment. We let people know, indicate to the area officers the flight with which you want to travel.
Okay.
If you want to go with the first flight, fine and good. If you want to go with the last flight, that is your business. But if you indicate to go with the first flight and you didn't show up, we now told them in the last orientation, say, if you indicate to go with the first flight and you didn't turn up, then you should wait for the last flight.
Okay.
And if there's anything, maybe a mobile flight, something like that. Even if we cannot even put you in the last flight, then we put you in a mobile flight if there's anything like that.
Okay.
Or else you risk losing the whole Hajj.
Okay, for me, essentially, Hajj is a spiritual undertaking, like Joy said.
Yeah.
And in the midst of all of these struggles to just get yourself to Saudi Arabia, a lot of people forget the aspect of preparing spiritually for this very journey, because the preparation actually starts from the day you make up your mind that this year I will perform the Hajj. Is there any special arrangement by the board to enlighten pilgrims on the need for the spiritual preparation, as they also do the logistical preparations to get the pilgrims to the Holy Land?
Yeah, that's it. As part of the tradition of the board, every year we organize series of orientation and education programs in phases. Phase 1, 2, 3. The last one is the practical aspect. And these first 1 and 2 and 3, which is theoretical, we have an array of Islamic scholars in FCT who we invite to the camp. And it is done on weekend basis so that pilgrims from FCT, who mostly are career civil servants, can attend. And on Saturdays and Sundays, this program cut across different aspects of the religion. The basic aspect of the nitty-gritty of performing the Hajj is there. The spiritual aspect is there. The rules and conditions guiding even the activities, they are all done. The policies and rules of a country which is different from your own country are also enumerated to the pilgrim. So we equip the pilgrims spiritually, physically, and otherwise, even before they get out of the country. So these programs are done every year. And I, with all sense of modesty, Hajj Commission of Nigeria has always commended FCT for a good camping. And I believe I want to, if I've not forgotten, in the previous 2-3 years or so, FCT had always come first in terms of camping activities. But the other challenge we have is that some of these pilgrims who may not behave properly when they get to the Holy Land, some of them don't come to the camp. They don't come to the camp at all. Majority of the people who have the camp are the average poor from the villages, the Fulani men, the farmers from the village. Religiously, they attend all our programs in the camp. But the guy in the city, if you call him for a company, he will tell you he's either busy in his office, he wants to travel, he is this and that. So, and these are the people who believe they know their rights. They know the difference between what is right and wrong, and they'll tell you that, oh, I don't come to the camp after I'm not the first traveler, I'm not the first timer. But yet, Hajj comes with different challenges and different every year. Look at this year now with these timelines. That is why we have gone out on this sensitization. If people think that it's going to be business as usual, when you pay at the last hour, the flight has begun, and you just go to anywhere, make a deposit and run to the camp and then get a visa. That is not going to be practical this year. So this is challenging. That aspect of spirituality is what we always intend in the mind. We'll tell the pilgrims, pilgrim Hajj is not a jamboree. Hajj is not a jamboree. You are going for a spiritual aspect. You are moving from your home state to a country where you are going to achieve a spiritual rejuvenation. This is what the Quran says. Quran says, if somebody is living for Hajj, make preparations. Get everything you want to carry along. If you want to carry dollars and whatever, carry them along. But get the best of preparation. For tazawwadu, for inna khairu zadi, at-taqwa. Get all the preparation you want to make. But the best of anything you carry to that country is the fear of the God. Right. So we let them understand that this is what you need to do. And once that is removed from you, then the whole thing is just it's a jamboree. You just went on sightseeing. When the spirituality is removed from you, what you have gone over with all your 4.5 million, you just sightseeing. And you can go sightseeing anywhere in the world. Thank you very much.
Can I go ahead?
Yeah.
Because 4.5 million might be a lot for some Muslims who would like to enjoy this activity or this opportunity to, for at least be it even once in their lifetime. And unfortunately, the rising cost of traveling and the inflation, especially on our Naira, is causing this rise. So is the board open for donations for people who may say, just so that it will give an opportunity for others to be able to be part of this very important spiritual activity? I am donating maybe the 4.5 for anyone who might not be able to afford it.
Right. Yeah, just as we made mention here, donations on behalf to sponsor somebody, that is the problem. We have individuals in this country who are well-to-do and who want to get that reward. Because in Islam, if you assist anybody to do an act of goodness, whatever the reward the person benefits, you to get the benefit equally without any deduction. That is also allowed. Now, we understand the amount of 4.5 is on the higher side. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria in the last 3 years or 4 years, the program has been on. We have what you call the Hajj 7 scheme. The Hajj 7 scheme has been on in the year 2020. It was formally launched in Nigeria. The Hajj 7 scheme provides opportunities for some Nigerians who cannot afford to pay what you call pay as you go. Because what we are doing now is pay as you go. You come in, drop 4.5 million, you wait. Now, if you can't do that, the Hajj 7 scheme is there. It is in partnership with the Jaiz Bank and the Hajj Commission of Nigeria. Go there, open an account, and the name of what? Hajj. Start putting in money, little by little. If you can put in 1 million this year, fine and good. Wait till next year. By the time you have contributed the amount required and you now realize you can afford to go, then indicate which state you want to travel. It's not necessary. Even if you do here at the Jaiz Bank in Abuja, it does not necessary that you must travel to the FCT. You must indicate which state you want to travel with. Whether you want to travel to Niger or Nasra, fine, this is your choice. So the Hajj 7 scheme is an opportunity for those who cannot to pay as you go. And the Hajj, the global industry, especially the Hajj giants like Malaysia, Indonesia, and all these countries, they have gone very far as this scheme is concerned. And gradually, Nigeria is also trying to key into this program. And over the years, once we can do that, I think the challenge of paying as you go may not arise. Because in these countries of Indonesia and Malaysia, the lineup is already there of those who are to travel even the next year, the next 2 years, and 3 years ago. That road crop has been arranged, everything has been streamlined, and everybody knows when he's to travel based on his own contribution. So gradually the country is trying to key in, and as time goes on, we too will get there, and gradually we'll get there.
Okay, so just to reiterate her question, because it's important to clear that. Does the commission, does your board rather, is the door open for example, I come in and say, okay, take this 9 million naira I'm paying for two, and is a donation for 2 people?
No, the donation is not made, what do you call them, directly to the board.
That's very important.
If you have anybody in mind that you want to sponsor, then of course. I remember there is I have forgotten the MD of that company now. I've forgotten the company, but she's not a Muslim. She's a non-Muslim, and it's a woman from Imo State. And 2 of her drivers came, who was one of the PA. And he said, Madam, I want to pay for the 2 drivers. And they want to get information. And she also made their e-pass for them, process everything for them. You know, that is a donation to those who, to her workers. And I now, after they have registered and gone, I took the number of the MD and I put a call to her. And I, of course, salute her courage and for a job well done. And I asked her what motivated her to sponsor those 2 guys. She said, yes. They have been working with her for a very long time, and they have exhibited the high level of what? Honesty and what? Commitment to job. And she decided to sponsor them. So that kind of thing is welcome, and you get the reward. But a direct donation to the board, no. But whoever you want to sponsor, let the beneficiaries be known, and let them come over, and let them make the bank drafts, and then bring it to the board.
Okay, I go back to Joy's question earlier on, especially with respect to those people you categorize as the VIPs, that will not come for camp. Is the board considering any kind of punitive measure that your money alone is not enough for us to allow your...
If you don't come for the orientation.
Because for me, that is crucial. You should know what you are going to do. And the only place to get that information is coming to camp.
Really, we have always tried to do the best we can in making sure that the VIPs come to the camp. But the first thing the VIPs will let you know is that they are busy in their places of
then
work.
don't pay for Hajj.
They pay for Hajj. Number two, they will also tell you that they are not first-timers. Because in FCT, you have somebody who in the last 10 years,
yes, he's been going consistently.
Every year, steady has been going. So even if you know him one-on-one and you are constantly say, what is there new? Are you going to invent a new thing? It's what we know already. Not only the men Hajj. Don't be surprised, that guy has gone even for the lesser Hajj. So maybe before he even paid for the main Hajj, he just returned the last 2 months or so. Some of the guys will even tell, look at my passport, I just returned from Hajj. So, but what we are doing as a body is that we try to encourage the first timers that it is very important them to come to Hajj. Because in Islam, whatever you want to do, you must know the rules and regulations guiding it. If not, whatever you are doing and you don't know these things, it's a futile exercise.
Exactly.
They too, if they don't come over, we also feel that yes, when you have, it is ours against them. If you don't come to the camp, the rules and regulations we have in the camp and what have you, if you get to Saudi Arabia and you begin to challenge us anyhow, we will let you know that, yeah, gentlemen, you are not in the camp.
Yes.
These issues you are interrogating were issues that were trashed out in the camp. If you have come to the camp, you will not be taking us backward. Especially like the form we have. We have a form. Anybody that's an attendant pilgrim, you have a form that you're supposed to fill. At the back of the form, apart from other rules and regulations itemized at the back of the form, we have a line that will tell you the minimum days you are going to spend in the kingdom. Now we indicate that you are going to spend at least a minimum of 40 days. Okay, we arrive the kingdom, the Hajj exercise are over, and then within 2 weeks you started buzzing as you want to come back home. Gentlemen, you are going to spend 15 days and you want to come back home. He said, yes, the Hajj is over. I said, no. If the Hajj is over, how many days did we tell you are going to spend in the kingdom? He said, nobody told me anything. I said, oh, fine.
He didn't come.
You don't know. If we didn't tell you, it means everything you did about that was by proxy. You registered by proxy. The forms were filled by proxy. You didn't even come to the camp. Everything by proxy. You didn't even come to the airport until you are aware that the plane is on the ground. That was the time you now pick your car from zone 6 or zone 8 or whatever zone you come from. And then you go straight to the airport. So gentlemen, you have to be patient. You came with the last flight and you go with the last flight. It's as you come in, that's how you go out. So we let them understand this is how you come. So we have a way of dealing with them and handling them, especially when it is our words against theirs. We make sure we do the best we can, and anybody who want to accost us on issues that has to do with our preparation or what have you, we let them know. Men, were you in the camp? If you are in the camp,
you should have this information, right?
Tell me something. You are in the camp because the camp is not only about what? It's not about orientation education. We have screening, we have also immunization and what have you. So you don't. Some of them, even the immunization, they take it out in any public health organization. They don't even come to the camp. But fine, we don't have problem with somebody getting the immunization anywhere, as long as it's a recognized government hospital. We don't have problem with that.
Okay, now that you mentioned immunization, sir, sorry for cutting you short.
No problem.
Are there people that are exempted, even with your money, that you can't perform Hajj this year?
Of course, medically, the medical screening, both for male and female, those who may be exempted after the medical exercise, screening exercise, most especially are female. Especially female who are going to start with what? With a pregnancy. You know, some women, they go to the extent of when you ask them to bring the specimen, instead of bringing their own, they bring that of their husband. So that you don't dictate whether she's pregnant or not. If a woman, instead of bringing her own specimen, urine, she brings that of the husband, there's no way you can dictate whether she's pregnant or not. But those who may pose a challenge to us in the Holy Land, especially when the pregnancy is at early stage. Hajj is a very rigorous
very rigorous.
It's a very rigorous exercise. Let me give you an example. From the day we set out on the 8th of Arafah, of Zulhijjah, sorry, the day we leave Mecca to go to Mina, from Mina to Arafah, Arafah to Muzdalifah, Muzdalifah to Jamra, and then to Mecca. This cycle of that journey, it is really, really hectic and rigorous. And on that journey, apart from the officials who may take care of you, apart from somebody who travels as a relation, nobody give a damn to anybody. Everybody is on his own. Nafsi, nafsi. Everybody for himself.
Right.
So because of that exercise, if you have pregnancy at that stage and it become a challenge, even your friend who may be moving with you may leave you and move on, because at that time it's like a replica of life of the day of judgment. They have been told on that day everybody mind his business. The husband is minding his business, the wife is minding his business, the son too can do the best he can do for the father. But if the wars become the wars, the son leaves the father and he moves on. I have seen these scenarios in Hajj where you see somebody battling to help an old woman or old man. At the end of the time, he says even he himself is exhausted and tired. He can do not much again. And the moment they sight one officer and you come closer, the next time you turn, the person standing with that person is gone.
Gone, of course.
And he has allowed you to take the whole bull by the horn. So this is the situation. So it is only the female that can be exempted. But those who we check them medically, and the doctors can ascertain that we can manage them with their drugs, we allow them to go. If the doctors said these guys, their situations are too critical and they cannot go, we advise them, please defer the Hajj. Go home and take care of your health. When you are better, next year, find out schedules. So it is when we are aware of our flight schedules that we also roll out our campaign plans. So the campaign, for example, May 9, tentatively is going to be the day for inaugural flight in this country. So the inaugural flight may start with any state of Nigeria. If the Hajj Commission say, for example, the inaugural flight is going to begin with FCT, fine. If that is the case, we immediately arrange a camping a day before before the inaugural flight, which is May 9. So by May 8, we move the pilgrims to the camp. But the education orientation is always going on even before the camping. That one is being done as visas have been issued, as even other preparations have been made. We roll it out. It's part of our program throughout the year. The camping, the radio programs, the television programs, all of them are programs we package together as part of activities for the 2024 Hajj. Thank you very much.
And we must thank you. Malam Evuti, we must thank you for being part of the program and giving us this enlightenment on everything around Hajj.
Exactly. Malam Abubakar Adamu Evuti is the Director, FCT Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board, and it's been a very educative and enlightening segment we've had with him. Thank you very much once again for coming. Thank you very much.
My pleasure being here.
And it's on this note that we take leave of this segment to join the Investment Plus team for financial tips today. Do stay with us.
Thank you very much.